alleged killer of Charlie Kirk to President Donald Trump's MAGA movement. In a statement, Disney said, "We made the decision to suspend production on the show to avoid further inflaming a tense situation at an emotional moment for our country. We felt some of the comments were ill-timed and thus insensitive. We've spent the last days having thoughtful conversations with Jimmy, and after those conversations, we reached the decision to return the show on Tuesday."
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
From the studios of Extreme Sports in Hastings, Nebraska, we present Huddle Up, a great way to start your day with all the news, weather, and sports you need, interesting interviews, and friendly conversation from two guys that go together like Scooby and Shaggy, Mike Will and Tyson Havronic.
Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Huddle Up here on Extreme Sports, and welcome to a Tuesday, the 23rd day of September for 2025. Mike Will, Tyson Havronic with you as we get you all the news, weather, and sports that you need to get out the door here this morning. The new college volleyball poll in Division I has been released. Nebraska continues to be ranked number one. We'll take a look at the poll here this morning. The kickoff has been set for the October 4th football game between Nebraska and Michigan State. We'll tell you about that coming up. I know how Tyson likes polls, so we've got the NAIA college football top 25 poll also out this morning. Had some high school softball we'll tell you about. A major college basketball coach is calling it quits, and we got a bunch of NFL injuries we'll talk about here this morning, plus get you up to date on the Survivor series that we've got going on in Extreme Sports. So all that and more is coming up for you this morning. Also some comments on a bye week with Husker head football coach Matt Rule. So hang around. We'll get you informed as you head out the door here this morning as we welcome in Tyson Havronic from the Western Studios. Good morning.
And a good morning as we wake up and get going. I saw the press conference yesterday, and I just kind of laughed and shook my head. Here we are in Nebraska, heading to a bye week on a Monday, and it's being treated in the media just like any other week. Rule rushes out Monday, and you just talked to him on Saturday after the loss to Michigan, which I get in the immediate moment of the loss. You don't have a really chance to reflect, to look at the tape, maybe get some questions answered. But 48 hours, you roll back out there, and somehow you still have 30 some odd minutes worth of content to pick from. I mean, come on. Like, how do we get that many questions in a 48-hour period to roll out to a guy that doesn't even have an opponent to this week? I just laugh. I laugh.
Yeah, yesterday's that's the coaches usually before reporters on Monday. That's the routine Saturday, Monday.
Yeah.
But yesterday's press conference was usually longer than what they normally are. So yeah, it was like 38 minutes all on a bye week. So
yeah.
All right. Our number has been updated on our Survivor, and we're down to 21. 21 folks left in Survivor for week number 4. The season. Green Bay was a major problem for us over the weekend. We lost like 11 or 12 people in the Survivor series from the loss to Green Bay and Cleveland on Saturday. So we're down to 21 left in our pool. That includes me, you, and the IT game.
Hell, it includes half the staff. Good on us. God, we suck at everything else, but here we are, Survivor, a game that we have no control over. Again, mind you, we have no way to rig this at all. And here we are. We're sitting as 3 of the last 21 survivors and ineligible for prize packages.
We're still working on that.
Continue.
But
fight the good fight on the Eastern Studios.
Yeah, you were in the conference on Friday, and it didn't look like the bookkeeper was going to budge. She says we're not eligible. I agree with you. We have no bearing on how this thing is going to play out. In fact, we put our picks out on Wednesday. Everybody else don't have to have their picks in until Thursday, so they could steal our picks if we want. I don't care. But it is what it is. We're down to 21.
What's that?
Yeah,
it's 21.
21 left in the Survivors. So got to have your picks in by Thursday. We've added an hour. The IT guy is nice, and we've added an hour. So you don't have to have your picks in until Thursday at 6.
Okay.
You and I will have our Survivor picks tomorrow on the show. So there you go. We're down to 21 left in the Survivor pool. A couple other notes we want to get to. The injury woes continue.
Wow.
For the San Francisco 49ers, linebacker Nick Bosa suffered a torn ACL in his right knee on Sunday. He is lost for the season. He was the 2022 NFL Defensive Player of the Year. In the first 2 weeks of the season before the injury, Bosa had 2 sacks, 8 pressures, and 15 tackles. So San Francisco, who has been riddled by injuries so far this season, you can just add another one, the key cog on their defensive unit. Nick Bosa is done for the year.
Yeah, big blow for the San Francisco defense, the team that just continues to be riddled with injuries, found a way somehow with that game winner a week ago, but continues to be plagued by the injury bug, and here's another one. And so, yeah, I mean, just hit after hit after hit for San Francisco, and it's almost like, man, what did they do to piss off the football gods so much over there in San Fran? Did they make some kind of deal during their Super Bowl run that just sent bad juju all over the place? They can't stay healthy, man. Do want to pass on a quick congrats as we see that Chief Endorf is chiming in here to the live lobby today. Chief Endorf is the fantasy baseball champion on a second fantasy baseball league that I'm in. This was one that I inherited this year, so just like my previous fantasy baseball team that won a championship in my other league, we're starting a rebuild with this particular team, and Chief was able to take home the crown. Did it for the pit crew. For the pit crew. So the crew chief picks up a fantasy baseball championship. I have a fantasy baseball championship. Between the two leagues that I'm in, I'm glad to see the wealth get shared a little bit.
I met the chief on Saturday.
Did you really?
We were at a little kids football game up in Donovan. I met the chief.
Sure.
Met the chief. Some more injury stuff. The Los Angeles Chargers are going to be without Najee Harris for the rest of the season. He tore his Achilles tendon on Sunday. He collapsed in the second quarter of the Chargers' 23-20 win over the Denver Broncos. So the Chargers without Najee Harris for the rest of the season. And the Dallas Cowboys are down 3 starters now on offense for the next several weeks. Pro Bowl wide receiver CeeDee Lamb, he could miss 3 to 4 weeks with a left ankle sprain, suffered in Sunday's loss to the Chicago Bears. Rookie right guard Tyler Booker, the Cowboys' first-round draft choice, is looking at 4 to 6 weeks on the injured list because of a high ankle sprain. The Cowboys have also lost their center, Cooper Beebe. They lost him in week 2 with a broken bone in his right foot and landed him on injured reserve. So Dallas also being hit by some injury problems, especially on offense.
Well, my heart breaks for Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys. It really does.
Yeah, I know. Either you love the Cowboys or you hate them. I know we've got a lot of Cowboy fans in this room on this show.
We do?
Yeah, Coach Arns is a avid
Cowboys
fan.
We give him crap all the time about it.
Yeah, he was down at Dallas last week or the week before that.
Mm-hmm.
The Atlanta Falcons fired wide receivers coach Ike Hilliard yesterday, one day after being routed by their NFC South rivals, the Carolina Panthers. Offensive passing game coordinator T.J. Yates will assume Hilliard's duties. The Panthers blew out the Falcons 30-0 on Sunday in Charlotte. It was Carolina's largest margin of victory in a decade. Quarterback Michael Penix Jr. had the worst game of his young career, throwing 2 interceptions, including a back-breaking pick six. He has not thrown a touchdown pass to a wide receiver or a tight end so far this season. So they're going to blow out the wide receivers coach there at Atlanta after they lost to Carolina 30-0.
Right. Something
had to happen there.
It's not the wide receivers coach's fault that the only talented wide receiver that they have is Drake London. And Michael Penix has no options or weapons to throw to. And that's not on Ike Hilliard.
Well, some stone had to fall after they were blown out by Carolina.
Like, give me some talent if I'm going to take this job. You know, I'm going to sit here and I'll coach these wide receivers, do the best I can, but also you gave me shit to work with. And if you don't have talented receivers in your wide receiver room, it's really tough to be successful with them at this level. The coaching and development part, God, that ship sailed a long time ago.
Well,
what does a wide receivers coach do in the NFL? Chill?
Coach wide receivers.
Yeah, okay.
Get open. Technique. Execute. Change technique if it's not working.
First stone of many probably for Atlanta this year.
Oh, that's what I mean. Something had to happen.
Yeah.
After they were shut out by Carolina. Dad, you texted me this earlier yesterday. Bruce Pearl.
Yeah.
Stepping down as the men's basketball coach at Auburn. He's going to move into an ambassador's role in the athletic department as a special assistant to the athletic director. And his son, Stephen Pearl, who had been the associate head coach, is going to assume the role as the head coach now. He worked out a 5-year contract to be the program's new head coach. Bruce Pearl spent 11 seasons at Auburn, leading the Tigers to 6 NCAA tournament appearances and both of the program's final 4 runs. During Pearl's time at Auburn, the Tigers earned at least a share of 3 SEC regular season titles and won 2 SEC tournament championships. He went 246 and 125 at Auburn, but only 232 of those wins are recognized because of NCAA infractions that led the Tigers to vacate games from the 2016 and 2017 seasons. But Bruce Pearl, a guy who's been around the NCAA basketball ranks for a number of years, stepping down at Auburn, and his son, Stephen Pearl, is now the head coach of the Auburn Tigers.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed a little sudden.
Well, it's kind of odd because the basketball season is going to be starting in less than 30 days.
Literally right before the tip-off of the season. So I thought the timing was kind of weird, but maybe it was one of those window opportunities where Bruce felt like if he had gone through the year, maybe his son doesn't get that opportunity to get that contract restructured and become the head coach. So clearly wanted to set a path forward for his son to be successful, but at the same time maybe step back into more of an admin role and a CEO role within the athletic department. So yeah, the creation of all these different positions based on the NIL and for the coaches that know how to navigate that, and there's opportunities for him. And so he stays within the university, gets an admin position, and at the same time sets a path for his son to at least have a successful path forward with the basketball program. Seems like a good move for the Pearl family anyways.
All right,
not for Auburn basketball, but for Pearl family.
402-834-1330 is our telephone number. If you'd like to chime in with us here today, that's the Hamilton Telecommunications fan line, 402-834-1330. Like to discuss something that we have talked about so far, or something on your mind, sports related or not, give us a call. Again, 402-834-1330. You can leave us a message on our social media sites as well as we continue to monitor the comments coming in. Another note, ACC athletic directors agreed on Monday to move to a 9-game conference schedule after their meetings in Charlotte, North Carolina, joining the other Power 4 leagues in going to 9 conference games. As far as a new scheduling model, league teams will now be required to play 10 Power 4 games, including 9 conference games. Most teams will begin playing 9 conference games plus 1 Power 4 game in 2026. Multiple ACC teams have returned non-conference or neutral site non-conference games scheduled for next season, including Florida State at Alabama, Clemson at LSU, SMU at Baylor, Duke at Illinois, Georgia Tech at Colorado, North Carolina and TCU in Dublin, Ireland, and Virginia, West Virginia in Charlotte. So the ACC jumping on the bandwagon, so to speak. They're going to play 9 conference games beginning next season, and they've got to play another Power 4 game to make it 10 games next season for football. So they're kind of moving into the same model as the other Power 4 league teams.
The ACC's got to play a Power 4. Like, I bet that Northwestern's phone is blowing up.
Northwestern. Rutgers would be a good choice for the ACC team.
Whoa. Easy there. Rutgers is much better than 90% of the ACC.
Well, you want to have a good 10th game, don't you? Like any of those teams are going to make a run in the college football playoff.
Well, why make it harder by scheduling? A Power 4? That's what I've always said about that. You know, at Mississippi State, yeah, your phone's going to be blowing up today. A couple schools. But like the ACC and the Big 12, they don't need to make the path for the college football playoff harder. I think we're going to see a lot of Big 12 ACC matchups. They're so weak on the Power 4 spectrum that then you schedule a Power 4. I mean, you almost have to win that game to even have a realistic shot outside of winning your conference to win a playoff berth.
Oh, if Kent State was only eligible.
If only Kent State should be in the SEC. They're geographic. Oh, no, wait, no, that's Ohio. They should be in the Big Ten. They're geographically centric with the Big Ten.
We don't know what the Big Ten region is. What is our region? The United States,
America.
That's our region.
America.
From
New Jersey to L.A.
Yeah, jeez.
Literally from sea to shining sea.
All right. It's a Tuesday morning, waking up with Mike and Tyson here this morning on Huddle Up. Lots of things to get you in sports. But again, 21 folks remain in Survivor. Have you took a peek at the games for this week yet? We kind of started browsing that yesterday. Have you settled on maybe 2 or 3 teams?
No. That's today's work. I just took a gander at the schedule, and we'll whittle that schedule down today. Settle on a team. Just wanted to bring everybody up to so on the Survivor standings, the amount of people that are all alive and also in our fantasy football league is impressive. Shaner's here. You got me. We got you. Dennis is alive. He's in the fantasy football league. Coach Stroman's in our fantasy football league. Chris Cook's in the fantasy football league. KK, KK survived good. I was worried for a second. KK survived. She's in the fantasy football league. So the moral of the story is, if you want to get by and advance in Survivor, get in our fantasy football league, apparently, because we're all alive. Everybody that was there except for Dakota, who didn't make a pick, which is typical Dakota. The only 3-0 team, by the way, at the top of the fantasy football standings. I want to bring everybody up to the fold here and let you in on our league. The only team that's 3-0, yours truly.
You won yesterday?
I just didn't have a choice.
I thought you were behind and you didn't know if you'd be able to eke out a victory.
That was true, but then Lamar Jackson scored 26 points. Sam Laporta scored 3, and the Ravens defense totaled -6 points after losing to Detroit by the score of 38-30. So a -6 points from Hackler. He actually went backwards by 2, and I went up by 26. And so that spells a good week.
That spells fantasy problems.
That spells fantasy problems for Hackler. He's 0-3 with you, but based on the standings and the amount of points that have been scored so far this season, oh, buddy, you're still well off the pace. You scored 184 points in 3 games. By comparison, I had a 125-point week on week 2.
Well, goody for you.
I'm just saying, you need a fantasy football makeover. You need to take your team down to KK's and give it a head spa. Your team needs a spa day.
The problem is, and this is my only gripe.
Oh, there's a gripe?
On the fantasy football, on these leagues that I don't mind having 10, 11, 12 people in a league. I think that's great. But when you're in a situation now with me, where my team is horrible, there's nobody out there to pick up that's going to change your season around. You are what you are.
No.
You are what you are.
You haven't.
Nobody trades anymore.
You haven't dipped your toes into the dark side, my friend. You have to influence the person that you're trying to trade. Treat him to a couple beers. Get him good and liquored up, and then hit him with that worst trade offer of all time. Talk about fantasy football and how, this guy, I had really high hopes for him on draft day. Saw the intangibles, saw what he's working with. He's got lightning speed.
Our league is too smart for that. Our league is too smart.
I don't know. I have several trades that I've done with Dakota where I have gotten the benefit.
That's between you and him. You trade all the time.
I know.
But there's not a lot of people in this league.
You need to find yourself a co-conspirator.
And that's what it is.
It's all backhanded door deals.
Yeah, it is.
They're all horrible.
You can't go to the waiver wire and pick up anybody that's going to change your season around. So you are what you are. If your team stinks, like mine, I felt really good about this year's team. But after the first, you even told me you kind of liked my team coming out of the draft.
Of course I did.
Yeah, you told me I kind of liked it.
Of course I did. I wasn't going to have you hit the waiver wire before me.
So, I don't know. I'll see what happens. I made a couple of minor moves last week. I wish I didn't, but made a couple of minor moves last week that...
I'm kind of surprised that you haven't co-conspirated with Stroman.
What's he got on his team? Anybody I want?
Well, he's got 2 healthy quarterbacks.
I got 2 healthy... Well, I got 1.
Oh, no, he's got 1. Never mind. He's got 1, too.
I don't know. We'll see what happens. 7:23. Waking up with Mike and Tyson here this morning for a Tuesday. Again, 402-834-1330, our telephone number if you'd like to chime in with us here today. Got Fantasy Talk. Fantasy Talk is dominating this first 23 minutes. So if you'd like to join us on some Fantasy Talk, you can. Anything else on your mind here this morning, sports related or not, feel free to give us a call as you're waking up to Extreme Sports. This is Huddle Up. Good morning.
It's time for a morning news update on Extreme Sports.
Mike, at least you're not on page 3. A parade, reunions, Hall of Fame, and Bronco athletics will fill the Hastings College campus for homecoming week this week and weekend. The event will kick off with Chamber Business After Hours, kicks off the week coming up on Thursday from 5 to 7 at the Morrison Reeves Science Center. Then there'll be the Hall of Fame inductions, where you celebrate the outstanding achievements of alumni at the Fine Arts and Athletic Hall of Fame inductions Friday and Saturday night, respectively. A downtown Hastings tradition, the Melody Roundup Parade, will take place on Saturday morning with step-off at 10:30. More than a dozen marching bands are participating, and then you can join in on the Bronco Tailgate Party on Saturday at 11:30 in the Gray Center JDAC parking lot before a full day of sports, all of which you will hear here on Extreme Sports, with football beginning at 1, volleyball at 3, and soccer at 4:30 and 8 o'clock. In other news, hundreds of bacon and brew lovers helped bring home enough bacon to fund a year's worth of books for 1,497 kids in Hall, Hamilton, Howard, and Merritt County. Earlier this summer, the Heartland United Way held the 10th annual Imagination Bacon, which raised nearly $45,000 for Dolly Parton's Imagination Library at the Heartland United Way, selling nearly 850 tickets. Jim's Championship Chili and Catering won the Golden Pig, being named the best bacon maker from the vote of the people, while the Island Band of Brewers was named the Boss Hog Brewer, following a vote by the event attendees. Well, coming up on Thursday, all 50 states will be hosting free Narcan events for Save a Life Day for the first time. CCC will take part of it as an extension of the Narcan initiative that it has had in place since April of 2022. Since the Narcan initiative began at Central Community College, more than 200 employees have completed training on opioid and fentanyl addiction and how to administer Narcan. It is now 7:26. With that, we'll swing things back over your way, Mike. Eastside Studios, what's going down in sports?
Well, Nebraska continues to be ranked number 1 in the latest AVCA coaches poll. The Huskers are 10-0 in the season. Texas is second. Kentucky and Stanford are tied for third, and Pittsburgh is fifth. Running at the top 10 are Louisville, Wisconsin, Arizona State, TCU, and Purdue. Minnesota is 12th. Penn State is 15th, and USC is 17th. Creighton is in at number 16. The Big Ten Conference has announced that Nebraska's October 4th game against Michigan State will kick off at 3 at Memorial Stadium and be televised by FS1. It's the second time this season Nebraska has appeared on FS1. The homecoming matchup between the Huskers and the Spartans is sold out, marking the 407th consecutive sellout at Memorial Stadium. Grandview of Iowa is ranked number 1 in the second NAIA Football Coaches Top 25 poll of the season. Morningside is 4th. Northwestern is 14th. Dordt is 15th, and Concordia is number 21. Hastings will play Morningside on Saturday at Lloyd Wilson Field. Kickoff will be at 1. Pigskin Preview begins at noon on Extreme Sports. In high school softball from yesterday, St. Cecilia beat Kearney Catholic by the score at 3-1. The Hawkettes are now 16-4. Adams Central defeated Gothenburg 4-1. The Patriots are now 7-14. And Northwest shut out York yesterday by the score of 10-0. The Vikings are now 16-2. Kansas City Royals will play at the Los Angeles Angels tonight. First pitch will be at 8:38. In the NFL, last night, Detroit defeated Baltimore 38-30. The Lions are now 2-1. The Ravens dropped to 1-2. That's a check in your sports headlines. 7:28 now on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning weather update on Extreme Sports with Chief Meteorologist Tim Jones.
We'll start off Tuesday morning with area showers and thunderstorms, and that'll continue intermittently throughout the day. A high only in the upper 60s with light winds as well. Tuesday night, we'll have more chances for showers and thunderstorms with an overnight low of 55. Sunshine returns on Wednesday with mostly sunny skies and a high of 73. On Thursday, we're almost back to 80 degrees, sunny skies, and 81 on Friday. That's a check your forecast. Have a good day.
As you wake up, get going this morning, the winds are calm. We have cloudy skies. It is 65 in Hastings at Extreme Sports.
At Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center in Hastings, you can now experience the Balancer Pro lymphatic system, a relaxing, touchless treatment that works while you simply sit back. Using the principles of manual lymphatic drainage, it helps flush out swelling, reduce toxins, ease muscle soreness, and promote total body wellness. Whether you're recovering from surgery, looking to contour and tone, aiming for weight loss, or just wanting to feel lighter and more energized, the Balancer Pro lymphatic system delivers results you can feel immediately. Perfect for athletes, post-op recovery, detox, or anyone who just wants to look and feel their best, because it's for everybody with a body. Come try it today at Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center, 208 South Burlington Avenue, Suite 101 in Hastings.
Have you checked the time lately? Good chance a Miletta Vista Winery is open. Hey, this is Mick with an update on our new hours. Tuesday through Sunday, we're open 11:30 to 3, and Fridays and Saturdays 11:30 till 9. Not sure what you want to enjoy when you get here? Well, Miletta Vista features award-winning wine, select beers, spirits, world-class foods, breathtaking views, and live entertainment. Visit MilettaVistaWinery.com. Check out our events page for music schedules and more. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook. Make your reservations now at Miletta Vista Winery, located on Highway 281, just north of St. Paul.
Connet Auto Care is the trusted name in automotive repair and maintenance services in Hastings. We're a gold-certified Napa Auto Care Center. Our ASE-certified technicians have the Blue Seal of Excellence, receive continuous training, and are committed to providing the best service your vehicle can get. Whether it's preventative maintenance, major repairs, or just an oil change, Connet Auto Care is here for you.
Get ready for the ultimate trivia experience with Extreme Sports Trivia. Play from anywhere at home, on the go, or at your favorite bar or restaurant. Compete live against players from all over in real time, answering questions across categories like sports, pop culture, Marvel, and more. Want to see how you stack up? Track your progress with live leaderboard and aim for the top spot. It's free, fun, and super easy to play. So what are you waiting for? Sign up today at extremesports.com trivia and start playing now. And keep an eye out. We're coming soon to a bar or restaurant near you.
Mike and Tyson here this morning. It's a Huddle Up on Extreme Sports for this Tuesday, the 23rd day of September. Again, thanks for joining us here this morning, whether you're listening on our website at x-streamsports.com, maybe on your smartphone with our free mobile app, your smart speaker, Roku TV, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitch. Thanks for joining us here on this Tuesday. I did mention the NFL game last night in our first segment, but Detroit beating Baltimore last night 38-30. That drops the Ravens now to 1-2 on the season. The Lions are 2-1. Is it panic time for the Ravens sitting at 1-2?
No, I mean, losing to two very strong playoff contenders in the NFL with the Lions in the NFC, team that I think is going to be there down the stretch. You lost to Buffalo, which there's no knock on that. All you're doing is just angering a Baltimore Ravens team, and I hate to be their opponents next week because they're going to come in hot. But no, I wasn't surprised to see Detroit win that game in a shootout last night. I think it kind of went according to script.
You know who Baltimore plays next week?
Who does Baltimore play next week?
Chiefs.
Oh boy.
Chiefs.
Oh boy.
Yeah, they just made the Ravens mad last night.
Oh, great.
Yeah. The Chiefs.
And the Chiefs have been playing very poorly.
Yeah, even in their win the other night.
Very poorly.
They stunk up the place. So that's
Is this the are you starting to get feelings that this is a year where it might not happen for KC?
Oh yeah.
Based on the talent that has been added in the AFC West, and just based on the other teams around the AFC getting stronger, and KC kind of backpedaling a little bit here in the early portion of the season, I still get the feeling that Kansas City is going to find a way, stumble through, and find a way. Like, I hate to say the playoff chances are bleak at this point because they've had such a long period of history of success, but I don't think Kansas City has that intimidation factor that they used to. You're playing and you're squaring up against your Chiefs, and you're like, I like our odds. They don't have that intimidation factor that they did 1, 2, 3 years ago.
I would kind of agree. In order to beat champions, you got to beat the champion, right?
That's the theory. But damn, the Giants nearly did. In a very sloppy first half of football, the Giants were in contention until the second half, and the Chiefs started to pull away. But that was as ugly as a football game as I've seen in a long time, and they put it in prime time.
Yes, they did. And they did not put the Kansas City-Philadelphia game in prime time.
No.
Let's see, this week you're not going to get Kansas City in prime time either. That's a 3 o'clock game.
Dallas.
Yeah, you get
Dallas getting a
Green
prime
Bay.
Time game.
Yep, that's your Sunday night game.
That's gross.
Oh, look at the Monday matchup. The Jets and the Dolphins.
Oh, we're splitting it again.
Yeah,
Good.
we got Cincinnati and Denver. Those are your choices for Monday night. So, anyway, just thought
Cincinnati going to go find a quarterback because Jake Browning's not the answer.
They brought in.
They were horrible.
Remember, they brought in a couple of guys that we didn't know.
They're not the answer either.
Let's see, if they still look like trash after that, then yes, I'll be worried. Shaner's checking in.
If you still look like trash after Baltimore?
No, after we get all of our players back. It might be too late then.
I was going to say,
well,
that's halfway. The year's half over by the time that's going to happen.
Yeah. Rashid Rice and let's see who else. I got one of them on my
Xavier Worthy.
Xavier Worthy. I got him on my fantasy team just sitting there on the bench.
You get all your players back and you might have a chance to get to the 500 mark.
That's what I mean.
It's going to be too late.
It might be too late. So I know.
Let's see.
Oh, the Chiefs lovers.
Speaking of Chiefs, the Chief is chiming in. When Chief wins, the pit crew wins. Tires and sodas for everybody for Chiefs victory.
In fantasy baseball.
In fantasy baseball. So he's on top of the world right now. So there you go.
Does he get a belt like you got? Didn't you get like a belt for your fantasy baseball win?
Oh no, I get cold hard cash. Mine's a money league. This league is just like for pride. It's one of those rare leagues that we still play just for fun. So I don't think the Chief gets anything other than our respect and admiration, and maybe a beer or two next time I see him down at Whitey's.
Handshake to the Chief.
So, Chief, I'll buy you a beer. You won fantasy baseball. At least let me get you something.
Jeez.
But yeah, no. The belts actually came from something completely different. Long backstory there of one of our friends that has an obsession with championship belts, and he had so many that his wife was like, "Here, take some of these so they can get out of my house." So that's why I have so many belts to pick and choose from. When I go 5-0 in the Blazing 5, next time I'll break out another championship belt. Or maybe next time that we get together in a fantasy football contest and it's you versus me, I'll rub it in by wearing the belt that day. I could probably rock the belt right now because I'm the king of the mountain in terms of the standings. Everyone's got the bullseye on Team Hangover Heaven.
It'll change.
Come on. I don't know that it will. I've got the bullseye squarely painted on my back, and everyone's going to be gunning for me. So I got to suit up and lock in every single weekend from this point forward. I wanted to talk to you about a very special day today because I know this is near and dear to your heart. It is the National Great American Pot Pie Day today. I know you love your pot pies.
I like pot pies.
I know you do.
My wife cannot stand them.
I'm on Team Bon on this particular subject.
You're not a big pot pie guy?
They take way too long to make.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem.
Why does it take 30 minutes to put that baby in the oven?
And you don't want to put them in the microwave.
It's gross in the microwave.
Yes, it is. So
they're even more gross.
You got to put them in the oven. And usually when I have lunch at home, I don't have 30, 35 minutes to put the pot pie in the oven to wait for it.
You think you buy it and you're like, oh, this will be quick and easy for when I need just a quick get-me-by. And then you read the instructions and 35 to 40 minutes in the oven.
Yeah, and then you got to preheat the oven first.
Oh, yeah.
So that's another probably 5 minutes. No, I don't have 45 minutes to make my chicken pot pie.
For something that's going to take you 5 minutes to devour. Because they're small. The portions are small. It shouldn't take an hour for something that small to be made.
Well,
Anyways,
number one, they're frozen solid.
Ryan Martin's on Pot Pie Island. Reheat that oven. It's National Pot Pie Day today. It is also Awareness Day for those who suffer from restless leg syndrome, which I do. I get in a fight with my covers every night. I wake up 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. All the covers have been knocked off because I kick when I sleep. It's bad. So for those that are with me with the restless leg syndrome, we're in this together.
And I didn't know yesterday fall officially arrived.
Wait, what the hell?
Like at 1 o'clock in the afternoon yesterday, 1:19?
It most certainly did not.
Well, all my calendars over here says it.
I have not yet seen the first leaves start to fall and change color.
Oh, you mean
the leaves on the trees?
Well, they're coming.
The brisk winds that bring in cooler temperatures have not yet arrived. It is not fall in Nebraska yet,
and we still have bugs.
We are still in our second wave of hell.
We still have bugs.
And it's not the heat, it's just this all the moisture and then the humidity, and it just feels like we live in a swamp the last week. And then you have the mosquitoes and the bugs and all that fun stuff to play with. I got 8 new mosquito bites yesterday walking from my car to CCC.
Bug spray.
Dude, I'm not wearing the most Midwestern of all colognes. Oh, is that Armani? No, it's off. We cake ourselves and coat ourselves in it. But I'm telling you, these things have, developed an exoskeleton. I tried to hit one and kill one. It was on my arm. And I swatted it, and it flew off. And I'm like, that's not a mosquito. They're developing a shell and a skeleton that is resistant to human contact. And half the time, off doesn't work. It's just something that's nice and sweet that attracts them to your arms.
And I find it kind of amazing that mosquitoes attack one person and they don't another. I don't know if I have any mosquito bites right now, but I see people and they complain that I got bit up last night, 5, 6, 7 mosquito bites. Why do they attack one individual and they don't attack another individual?
They don't want your blood.
They don't want my blood. They don't want my blood. Yeah.
That's the only response I can logically come up with at 7:43 in the morning.
All right, let's get to some Husker talk. Let's talk some football on this sports show, huh? Matt Rule was before us yesterday, and we kind of looked back at the Michigan ball game, and he says he's stressing to his team they've got to move on from that Michigan loss.
As I've said to our players, I think it's really, really important for us right now as a coaching staff and really a football program is to have a very calculated response, not to overreact, not to underreact, but just to be very disciplined in the way that we see things. What I've asked our guys not to do is not to settle for the narrative of how we're just a couple plays away. I think that's a deadly, deadly thing when you start saying things like that. I think I showed them probably 45 plays yesterday that could have been the difference in the game. And so for us, this is what the Big Ten is. It's going to be exciting games that come down to the end, and you always have to make one more play than your opponent. We had our opportunities. We didn't get it done. Obviously perhaps the most disappointing thing was just, was just the fact that they controlled the line of scrimmage on both sides. What I will say is what's frustrating about it is it's really three big runs on offense. I think equated to about 168 yards. Now they made the plays, right? So it's not like those are okay, but one's a nice call by them on the quarterback draw where someone just kind of has to make a play, right? They have sort of the numbers advantage, and you just have to make a play. We didn't get it done. They made the play. One is an outside zone right before the half where. Just several guys just didn't execute their assignment, and we missed a tackle. Okay, so it just has to be what it is. And then the third one's we're just not quite lined up right, not quite communicated right, and we have three guys really on one side instead of having a guy in the post. And so very self-inflicted wounds. I think the important thing for our football team is not to say, as I said, not to say it's just one play, not to say it's just hey, this position group has to play better. I think everybody can play better. We had so many chances to make more plays. We're a step away on a punt return. We just barely step out of bounds on a touchdown catch. I mean, so many, and it's not just those plays. So many opportunities to go out and win the football game. And so, as always, I think it's just really important that we take ownership but stay very neutral. And not overreact, not underreact, but just try to get better. And that's what we'll do. But we know that we have an excellent football team. We believe that with all our heart. We're throwing the ball at a high level. We're covering people at a high level. We have to eliminate the explosive plays, and we obviously, if we give Dylan time, not many people can cover us. So we're just going to have to do a better job of protecting the pocket, and I don't want to in any way minimize their players. They I don't know if they did it on purpose or stumbled into the week before putting Jay Sean, Barnum at number one, at outside linebacker, and he looks like a top 10 pick, to be quite honest. I faced a lot of good players. And I know going into the week what he was, and he played really, really, really well. And so we'll try to improve this week in all those areas. We'll look at everything. It's been a grind up until now. We've played 4 games, had an off season. We've got 3 new coordinators who have worked their tails off, and I think we were able to sit down today and even just kind of look at our players, like, hey, who's making plays? Who do we need to play more? Even some of our young players are playing really well. You don't really know about a freshman until they start playing. So really kind of looking at our personnel, look at what we're doing, and how can we get better moving forward.
And one area of concern maybe is the offensive line. Dylan Raiola sacked 7 times in the ball game last week against Michigan.
They edged us early, and so then we started trying to absorb contact instead of taking the fight to them. Thought we were, they do bring a lot of pressures and blitz. I mean, there's a couple that we turn sometimes we turn the guy loose that didn't need to be turned loose because we're overthinking it. Again, they present a lot of challenges. Credit to them, but it's also a bunch of other things too. Sometimes you have a chip and the back doesn't chip, properly, right? Like he just tries, but it's not a great chip. One sack, we're supposed to have a comeback and the guy runs the wrong route. So it's all 11 guys, but I think versus that rush, they were lining up wide and going speed. It's everything we knew they would do, right? Going speed to power and trying to collapse the pocket and make Dylan uncomfortable. And we didn't widen the pocket enough. And so from a football perspective, you want to have the width and depth of the pocket. The tackles set the width. Your inside guys set the depth. For the most part, the depth was okay, but the width, the edge guys, one versus our tackles too much. And that it takes all 11 guys. Guys got to get open fast. Quarterbacks got to get the ball out. You chip, rib, or whatever you need to do. We didn't get that done well enough.
Again, listening to Matt Rule. This is the bye week for the Huskers as we continue to talk about the game last week against Michigan. The coach said that he has a different feeling about this team. He says he's really not worried when the Huskers fall behind in a game.
To your point, not nervousness, but sort of like that. Here we go again. I think we just have a lot of guys who they don't have like before the game, they asked me about this many losses versus rank. I haven't been a part of that, so I don't want to own that. Like I own this game. Dylan goes out to every game thinking he's going to win, thinking there's no way he's going to lose. He's going to play every single snap. And I say Dylan because he's the quarterback, right? Like we have a lot of guys who they expect to win, and part of playing good teams like Michigan and the team, Michigan State, and the teams we're going to face is like they're going to score points. They're going to play good defense. You're going to get ahead. You're going to get behind. Just battling the game and not overreacting, not panicking. I think things as simple as like the level of our crowd, how elite our crowd is, how loud it is, the game atmosphere. Like I think the being at home keeps you in those games, right? Like the people get loud and get excited. So, but I just think our guys they're not being victims. Like even right now, like I just said, like there's a lot of teams have lost a game. Like Texas didn't fold the year up and lost to Ohio State. There's no time to feel sorry for yourself. No one's coming to run for you. Just get better. Take the things you did well, and then fix the things you're not doing as well. And if, to your point, if some of them you can't fix, then you just try to play around them and play to your strengths. But I think it's just our mindset.
Some of the things that come up during a bye week.
Dude, that was just a bunch of football jargon thrown into an answer.
Yeah.
And he just said like football words and structured them into a sentence. It was pretty... That was almost John Madden-esque. All I was waiting for was yellow circles on the board and say, oh, we didn't do it here, and we got to be on whipped here. And then you see it, and boom, tough acting and acting. A lot of football talk. Speaking of football, though, did you see the slate? I know we're on a bye week, but that's no excuse not to watch some damn good college football this weekend. The slate is incredible. Ohio State at Washington, 2 undefeated teams. Ohio State gets their first road test at Husky Stadium. You got Penn State and Oregon. Penn State, of course, with their lights-out defense. Oregon with their high-powered offense. Then also in the Big Ten, Indiana and Iowa, which I didn't think that I would ever say at this point would be one to watch. But look at what Indiana did last weekend to Illinois. They chewed them up and slaughtered them and spit them out. Like, I know the feeling, Illinois. I brought and hosted my first football party in this house against Indiana, and that was the wrong game to do it because Indiana just shredded us. They did the same thing to Illinois last weekend. There's an argument to be made that Indiana is better than last year's playoff team. They're number 11 in the country for a reason. They're taking on an Iowa team that I think is pretty salty. They've impressed me the last 2 weeks. Iowa has. And so I'm very curious to see what that environment's going to be like in Kinnick Stadium. Can Iowa's defense slow down that high-powered Indiana offense better than Illinois? We'll wait and see. Then you got SEC action all over the place. LSU, Ole Miss, Georgia, and Alabama. 2 big blue bloods in the SEC. How can you not be entertained? Texas A&M and Auburn also rounding out the slate. So there is some big-time matchups. And again, when you talk about the quote-unquote Power 4, it's really the Power 2. The big-time matchups are in the SEC and the Big Ten, and there's really no other argument to be made for the ACC and the Big 12. The scale that those two conferences are at, you have your Big Ten SEC hierarchy, then you have your Big 12 and your ACC, then you have your Pac-12 or Mountain West with lipstick or whatever you want to call it, and then the rest of the college football universe. There should be a pyramid scheme to filter out the bad. I don't like grouping the ACC and the Big 12 in with the Power 4. It was mentioned when you talked about the ACC changing their schedule format so they can be more like the Big Ten and the SEC. Well, you're not. You're not like us, so stop trying. Just continue to play your fun little game of football down over there in the ACC. Big-time matchups this weekend. Big time.
Yeah, that's one of the better slates. And it happens on our bye week, which is all right. Have a chance to watch some good college football coming up this weekend. Waking up with Mike and Tyson this morning. This is Huddle Up on Extreme Sports at 7:54.
It's time for a morning news update on Extreme Sports.
Well, it's homecoming week on the Hastings College campus, and events will officially kick off on Thursday with the Chamber Business After Hours, going to be held from 5 until 7 at the Morrison Reeve Science Center. Then you can celebrate the outstanding achievements of alumni at the Fine Arts and Athletic Hall of Fame inductions. That's coming up on Friday and Saturday night, respectively. A downtown Hastings tradition, the Melody Roundup Parade, taking place on Saturday morning with step-off at 10:30. More than a dozen marching bands participating. The Bronco and Athletics Tailgate Party coming up on Saturday morning at 11:30 in the Gray Center and JDAC parking lot before a full day of sports. A full day of sports that you can hear right here on Extreme Sports, beginning with football versus Morningside at 1 p.m., volleyball versus Briarcliff at 3, and then the soccer teams battle Dakota Wesleyan at 4:30 and 8 o'clock, respectively. Hundreds of bacon and brew lovers helped bring home enough bacon to fund a year's worth of books for nearly 1,500 kids in Hall, Hamilton, Howard, and Merritt counties. It was all part of the 10th annual Imagination Bacon put on by the Heartland United Way, which raised nearly $45,000 for the Dolly Parton Imagination Library, selling 850 tickets. Jim's Championship Chili and Catering, taking home the Golden Pig, being named the best bacon maker by a vote of the people. An Island Band of Brewers was named Boss Hog Brewer, following a vote by the event attendees. It is now 7:55, 5 minutes until 8. Let's head over to the East Side Studios. Mike, what's going down in sports?
Well, Nebraska continues to be ranked number 1 in the latest AVCA coaches poll. Huskers are 10-0 in the season. Texas is second. Kentucky and Stanford are tied for third. And Pittsburgh is fifth. Riding out the top 10 are Louisville, Wisconsin, Arizona State, TCU, and Purdue. Minnesota is 12th. Penn State is 15th. And USC is 17th. Creighton is in at number 16. The Big Ten Conference has announced that Nebraska's October 4th game against Michigan State will kick off at 3 at Memorial Stadium and will be televised by FS1. It's the second time this season that Nebraska has appeared on FS1. The homecoming matchup between the Huskers and the Spartans is sold out, marking the 407th consecutive sellout at Memorial Stadium. Grandview of Iowa is ranked number 1 in the second NAIA football coaches top 25 poll of the season. Morningside is 4th. Northwestern is 14th. Dordt is 15th. And Concordia is number 21. Hastings will play Morningside on Saturday at Lloyd Wilson Field. Kickoff will be at 1. Pigskin Preview begins at noon on Extreme Sports. High school softball from yesterday. St. Cecilia beat Kearney Catholic 3-1. The Hawkettes are now 16-4. Adams Central defeated Gothenburg 4-1. The Patriots are now 7-14. Northwest shut out York 10-0. The Vikings are now 16-2. Kansas City Royals will play at the Los Angeles Angels tonight. First pitch will be at 8:38. And in the NFL last night, Detroit defeated Baltimore 38-30. The Lions are now 2-1. The Ravens dropped to 1-2. That's a check in your sports headlines at 7:58.
It's time for a morning weather update on Extreme Sports with Chief Meteorologist Tim Jones.
We'll start off Tuesday morning with area showers and thunderstorms, and that'll continue intermittently throughout the day. A high only in the upper 60s with light winds as well. Tuesday night, we'll have more chances for showers and thunderstorms with an overnight low of 55. Sunshine returns on Wednesday with mostly sunny skies and a high of 73. On Thursday, we're almost back to 80 degrees, sunny skies, and 81 on Friday. That's a check your forecast. Have a good day.
As you wake up, get going this morning, the winds are calm. We've got cloudy skies. It is 65 in Hastings at Extreme Sports.
At Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center in Hastings, you can now experience the Balancer Pro lymphatic system, a relaxing, touchless treatment that works while you simply sit back. Using the principles of manual lymphatic drainage, it helps flush out swelling, reduce toxins, ease muscle soreness, and promote total body wellness. Whether you're recovering from surgery, looking to contour and tone, aiming for weight loss, or just wanting to feel lighter and more energized, the Balancer Pro lymphatic system delivers results you can feel immediately. Perfect for athletes, post-op recovery, detox, or anyone who just wants to look and feel their best, because it's for everybody with a body. Come try it today at Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center, 208 South Burlington Avenue, Suite 101 in Hastings.
I'm John Butler, Funeral Director and Owner at Livingston Butler Volland Funeral Home and Cremation Center in Hastings.
And I'm Nikki Butler, the Advanced Funeral Planning Specialist. Whether you choose a traditional service, cremation, or a unique memorial service, our experienced staff is here to help guide you through every step. Visit us at lbvfh.com to learn more about our services and how we can support you.
Livingston Butler Volland Funeral Home and Cremation Center. We are here when your need is greatest.
Hamilton has been providing IT solutions for businesses across the state of Nebraska for more than 3 decades. We know that Nebraska businesses are a driving force of support for the communities in which we live and work. We keep them connected and protected by delivering cybersecurity, hosted phones, and managed IT. We are grateful to be part of our Nebraska communities and to support their technology needs.
More information at hamsbusiness.com.
All right, Mike Wildenstein of Bronick wrapping up Huddle Up on Extreme Sports for this Tuesday. Again, we'll let you know about our high school football plans for Friday night. Saturday, full day of action with football, Morningside and Hastings beginning at noon with Pigskin Preview. We're going to have a volleyball in the afternoon, Briarcliff and Hastings beginning at 4:15. And then we're going to have soccer on Saturday night. Dakota Wesleyan will be in town to take on Hastings in a women's men's soccer doubleheader. So all kinds of stuff coming up for you on Saturday from Hastings College and their homecoming weekend. Not many times for football, you have your homecoming game and you bring in the fourth-ranked team in the nation in Morningside.
Yeah, saw that and kind of did a double glance at the schedule to make sure I was looking at that correctly. You know, you want that homecoming probably last week against Waldorf, with all due respect. Morningside's a tough opponent, but, you know, bring the energy, bring the effort, and, God, they're just one of those programs that every year, year in, year out, like Morningside has, since I've been covering GPAC sports with you for the last 18 years, Morningside's never had a step back. They've never had a season where it's just like, oh, they're kind of average this year. They're always towards the top of the upper echelon teams in the Great Plains Athletic Conference, and yeah, it's going to be a test, but you know, strap up, play physical football, and bring that energy, and hopefully the homecoming crowd will help spark the Broncos. But yeah, tough team coming into play, 4th ranked team in the country.
Yeah, lots of activities going on this weekend. You mentioned some of those during your news break, so lots of activities going on. A lot of people are going to be in town this weekend, so get out and enjoy the Hastings College homecoming coming up this weekend. So
yeah, starting on Thursday.
We will have our Survivor picks, you and I, tomorrow on this show. 21 people still alive in Survivor. Of course, the prize package goes to the one lone soul remaining at the end of Survivor. We'll get you a brand new TV donated by Mid-America Truck Sales of Hastings. We'll get you the flat top grill that help out on your grilling needs for the rest of the football season. We've got a gift card available for you for Moletta Vista Winery up in St. Paul. We'll treat you to dinner and some drinks out at Bullseye Sports Bar and Grill. We've got the oil change from Conant Auto Care and the 60-minute head spa experience from KK and the crew down at Bamboo Mine and the Body Spa. That's what I need if I spend another day fretting over my fantasy football roster. I need a head spa.
Your entire team needs a spa day. It's not just you as the general manager. Your entire team needs a spa day. I'll tell you what. I'll negotiate. I'll give the TV and the grill, hypothetically, if I was to come across as the lone survivor, I would give the grill and the TV to the next best recipient. But I'm gonna need my oil change card. I'm going to want my liquor and booze card for Mileta Vista and Bullseye. I'm going to need that damn head spa.
You're going to need that.
But I'll give the TV and the grill to the next closest person. If we can further bring me to the negotiating table, where it's been a hard no since the inception that we're ineligible for prizes, but as evidence that we have presented here in Kangaroo Court, we have no control over how this thing goes, and we announce our picks so everybody knows. It's not like we can manipulate the Survivor game. Therefore, I feel like we should be eligible. And as a gesture of kindness for letting us back in, I will put the TV and the grill up for grabs for the next closest competitor. Bring that to the table for the negotiations, and let me know how that goes tomorrow.
What happens if the next closest person is also one of us?
Then you get a TV and a grill. Woohoo!
But
that's your problem. You got to figure out what you're going to do with it after that.
Yeah, that probably ain't going to fly either.
I have made my negotiations a counter proposal. A counter proposal has been presented.
Jeez.
Please take it to the board.
Yeah, we still got 21 people in, as you can see on our countdown up there on our board. So got 21 people involved with a Survivor after, 3 weeks of the NFL season?
I mean, half of the field's gone. I'm not on page 3. It's exciting to be here on the first page with everybody. Hi, everybody. Welcome. I'm normally the guy on page 3.
I'm Tyson Evronic.
We see Lexi is still in her she's good at these competitions. She was up towards the top. Lexi was up towards the top of our March Madness pool. Yep. Yeah. She's right up here towards the top.
I think Lexi won it, didn't she?
She won a prize. I don't know that she won the grand prize.
So
there you go.
Yes, she's still involved.
21 of them are, and we're making our picks tomorrow.
All right.
I still have heavy hitters to choose from, too.
Blazing 5 coming up on Friday. We'll have some interesting guests later on in the week, so I invite you to join us for the rest of the week each and every day here on Huddle Up Extreme Sports. It gets underway at 7. Again, you can listen to the podcast, listen to the show again. Just download the podcast on our social media sites and listen to this show. It's your convenience today. But again, to make plans, be back with us live tomorrow beginning at 7 on Huddle Up on Extreme Sports. Have yourself a great day.
You've been listening to Huddle Up on Extreme Sports, Central Nebraska's new home for sports. Join us every